He's drank so much of the Kool-Aid for a man that he literally has never met. Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Beautifully Nerding. I'm your host, Auntie Bri, and I'm actually very excited for the movie we're talking about today. I actually saw it a couple of weeks ago, but life be lifing, so I was not able to record it when I wanted to, but today we are talking Is God Is. Now this is an exploration of, I think, blind faith and the weight of performance for who we call our creator. So like in the movie, they call their mom God because she created them. They're like, she is our God, which is interesting as someone who grew up in the church, because that happens in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I'm already like, oh, so we're definitely in for a ride. So Is God Is a 2026 film written and directed by Aleshea Harris. The movie is an excellent look at the dangerous path that is forged when your entire existence has been turmoil, and an outstretched hand seemingly provides assistance and community. And in the movie, our leads are finally shown love, and they go on a wild ride of crazed revenge simply because they were asked to. I think the movie is empowering, it's funny, it's terrifying, and it's also just a wild ride. So this video will be full spoilers because it just immediately jumps in and is nonstop the entire time. And I have a lot that I want to talk about, so let's go ahead and get into the movie. Twins Racine and Anaia are working as custodians, but between Racine's temper and Anaia's visible scars, they struggle to keep a job. After getting fired, they go home and they see that they have been sent a letter from their mother, who they thought was dead. And they go to see her, and she's like, I know that you thought I was dead. I was really nervous about sending y'all this letter. That's why I sent it to a particular twin, because one of y'all is really emotional and I didn't want you to have to go through that. But what I need you to do is make your daddy dead.
Girls, I'm gonna make this real simple. Make your daddy dead. Real dead.
This seems a little crazy.
Not as crazy as setting your wife on fire in front of your kids, then abandoning them.
And at first, the girls are like, WTF? But Racine has just had this anger inside of her entire life. And she's actually very excited at the thought of having an outlet for it, which is a great indicator for later in the movie. And Anaia, on the other hand, is like, this lady who we don't even know, we thought she was dead since we was like 5-6 years old, is asking us to come in and go on a murder spree to make sure we also are able to murder one particular person. Y'all are both tripping. Racine is just like, tripping is a stretch, but I think we should do it. I feel that Anaia is kind of the audience perspective of this entire situation, and she's definitely like, I don't like this, but also as my twin, I'ma stick beside you. Anaia has definitely been the more sensitive one, just because her scars are something that ostracizes her from the rest of society. So she definitely is more keen to doing whatever it is that Racine wants to do. And while they're going back and forth trying to figure out what they are willing to do with this situation and with this request, the mom shows them the extent of her damage. And Racine is like, nah, we gonna get your revenge for you. And so our fetch quest is off. And our first stop is Divine, which is the first stop that their dad made after leaving their mom. And she currently runs a cult and is somehow waiting for the dad to come back. But he left her pregnant like 20 something years ago. So like, he's not coming back. Like, the kid is literally like standing right there, 19, 20 years old. Like, this is a grown man, like he's not coming back. And the fact that you've been waiting this entire time is absolutely crazy. They get some information from her place because she was just like, this is the love of my life. I'm waiting forever and a day. And they're just like, okay. They steal like a little address book from her place, and they go to see his lawyer who got him off of the case from setting their mom on fire. We find out that the dad ripped out the tongue of the lawyer to make sure it didn't wag.
Tell us where he at. For fear that it would wag, he took my time. We ain't gonna kill him.
So yeah, homie is real deranged. The lawyer does let the twins know that he has a new family, and he gives them an address. But while they are taking a break to relieve their bladders, they hear a motorcycle pull up, and homie starts like fucking up their car. Now note, he doesn't take his helmet off the whole time he's doing it, so we don't know who it is. So when I was watching it, I thought it was the daddy, and he just like came out of nowhere. Throughout the film, we only see like the bottom of his face. Like you literally see from like here. Like it's just this much that you see. And so I guess if you don't know who Sterling is, then like you don't know who their dad is. And so I'm assuming that like, you know, it's continuing into the trope of us not seeing his face, and that's why the helmet doesn't come off. Come to find out, it is actually Divine's son, you know, the baby that she was pregnant with when the dad left her 20 some odd years ago. And he's like, how dare you go after my daddy, da 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 da, you'll never be. And it's like just going on this whole tirade because both he and his mom worship the ground that this man walks on. And this kid has never even met his dad. He literally is just he's drank so much of the Kool-Aid for a man that he literally has never met, which is crazy because that's, you know, let's not fully get into the religion talk right now. But, you know, I just thought that it was very interesting and very indicative how far this person was going to stand up for a person who he has never seen in his life, all because someone else said that he cares for him really deeply. And one day, he's gonna come back and rescue you from everything that troubles you. Sounds familiar, don't it? So yeah, we are able to see that the crazy is indeed genetic, which sets up the rest of the movie because we get to the new mom living in the new house, and of course she has been terrorized by the dad as well, but she's been biding her time, squirreling away money when she can, and doing like little petty things of revenge, like peeing in a bottle that she uses to like clean stuff, which is crazy because I'm like, doesn't that leave streaks? Like Windex has a certain chemical compound. I don't think urine has that same chemical compound, so I'm just not quite sure how that is going to work as a substitute and not. But when she runs into the girls on her way to try to gamble and earn some more money, it is a bit awkward because here's this woman who is perceived to be living this incredibly privileged life while the twins were being bounced around from foster home to foster home. And instead of trying to understand their plight, she insults the twins' mama for not leaving, calling her a weak bitch, and then spits in Racine's face. And at this point, Anaia's like, well, I tried to be on your side as much as I could, but that was a crazy thing to do. And I'm gonna let my sister beat your ass. This sets Racine off. And unfortunately for Janelle Monáe's character, she is very violently removed from the picture. That part does happen off screen, which is crazy because a lot of the blood in this movie is very visible. So I just found it interesting. That one aspect of it was not. And so the twins get to the house and decide to kill time with the new twins. And so there is a like bigger like athletic twin and like a smaller twin that like essentially gives like, they both have like Carlton and Will. And so like that's how I just kept thinking of them. They had their own names. I don't remember them because in my head you had Will and Carlton. The big dummy of a twin assumes that the girls are strippers because I guess their birthday is coming up. And he's like, oh, like dad surprises the strippers even though our birthday isn't until like 2 weeks from now. The twin girls decide to kill time with the boys until the dad returns. Shit goes left when the athlete twin insults Anaia, and you can see that fire start behind Racine's eyes, and Anaia goes off to chat with Carlton because Carlton didn't really want to be in that like environment anyway with Will and all of his friends. And so they're in the kitchen talking, kind of like, you know, bonding over being the awkward, weird twin. And you see her like finally having someone who can maybe empathize with what she's going through, if nothing else. And it was really good to see her finally being able to speak freely and comfortably with someone outside of just her sister, because people only saw her scars. Like they didn't actually see that she was a whole person. And I think like that honestly is really indicative too, because it's just like, you know, we only see what people have been through. Like, we haven't seen who they are for getting past it. Anaia seems like a real cool person. Like, she got her little boyfriend and everything. Like, she's a cool person who just happens to have a really, really terrible childhood. And so Racine continues to dance for Will and the rest of the boys, and takes the Will twin for a private dance, and I guess like knocks him in the throat with the rock sock, which was a whole thing. Like, they just kept putting like big old like boulder rocks in the sock. And at this point, Anaia is fully over Racine, because she's like, she already doesn't really like all of the blood and the gore, and she's not really there for it. And where Anaia is just on like this full like villain arc. And at this point, Anaia is just like, you know what? You're doing too much. I told you if you killed anybody else, I was done. I can't do this no more. And her and Carlton try to run away from Anaia. And as they're like hiding behind a bush, Carlton starts choking Anaia out. It's crazy because, you know, we are led to believe that the Carlton twin is the, you know, the quiet, more meek, more, you know, head in the books twin. But it's really that he was more calculating. He was way more like his daddy, but he was quiet with it. He was unsuspecting. He was a literal sociopath. Like he wasn't just psycho. Like, he knew how to blend in and completely be unseen in his derangement. And that's how he was able to get away with all the stuff. So he's choking Anaia out. Racine comes out of nowhere, and like the two of them are fighting him, and he ends up getting like stabbed in the back with like garden shears, like the big like that you use to like cut the like tops of the bushes to make them square. Like they they stab him in the back with those, and then like kick him in the pool, which is crazy because like as the deaths are piling up, you get to see some of the ways that they were talking about how to kill their dad are being demonstrated in all the different ways that they are killing people. So it's like, you know, we're listing all these things, and it's just foreshadowing. And so our twins have not left yet because they still have a mission. Their mission was to kill their dad. And at this point, Racine is unconscious, and Anaia is hiding inside the house because finally dad is home. Anaia takes Racine and like hides under the table. Sterling just comes in and like fixes a sandwich with all the accoutrements, puts aside chips on the plate, and then sits at the table that Anaia and Racine are hiding under, and it's like, well, I guess we should talk. Why are you so calm right now? And so she gets up, and like they're having like this whole like conversation. They're going like question for question, back and forth, like getting more information out of each other. It's just the two of them for a while, and you can see Anaia's quest for connection and for parental love and care that she was never given as a child, because all of their foster parents were just terrible people in various ways. And so now, even though they know that he is a terrible person, Anaia is still just like, but this is my dad. And so he's trying to, you know, lie and create sympathy for his side of the story, even saying like, oh no, like I tried to get you out, like you have those scars because your mama held on to you for so long and wouldn't let y'all go. And I'm just like, I don't know about that. But then also, like, would the girls have been too afraid to run? Because if they were there, and if they just like see that their mom is hurt, they probably would have tried to do something. Like, even though they were like 5-6 years old, it is nothing really they can do. I'm sure they would have tried. That part kind of threw me for a loop, because I definitely was wondering why only one of them had such significant scars on their face and the other one has significant scars on their arm. I did think that was interesting. And earlier in the movie, we do find out that Anaia is actually pregnant, because they're sitting there getting ready, and Racine like looks down at her chest and then like looks over at Anaia's chest, and it's like, what's going on? And when Anaia ain't want to say nothing, she kind of puts two and two together, because like, hey, why your titty so big? What's going on? And so when Anaia tells her dad that she's pregnant, you know, thinking that it's gonna help in him not killing her. Because at this point, he done already slapped the dog piss out of her. And he is fully prepared to kill her because at this point, they have killed his entire new family. And he's just like, I should have killed all y'all then. And fortunately, Racine does wake up. And it's the two of them fighting against him. It's not a fair fight. It's not even in the least bit. But the girls are able to hold their own for a little bit. And they're finally able to like overpower him enough to where, you know, they're getting a couple really good hits in. They are able to like douse him with a bunch of like liquor and stuff that he has. He's like crawling throughout the house trying to get away from them. And he winds up falling into the bathtub. And they're like, ooh, look at this serendipity. And they light him on fire. And they just stand there and watching. And it was at this point that I knew that something was going to happen that I was not going to like. I was like, why y'all just standing there? Why y'all ain't left yet? Like, the whole house is going to go up in flames. Like, you literally created a tinderbox in this bathroom. Because you doused him in all the alcohol. Alcohol is extremely flammable. Now this man is on fire, melting all the stuff. Why y'all just standing there? Leave. Run. Why are we just standing there? And so finally, they turn around to leave, which is crazy because they were at the door. And all of a sudden, when they turned around, Racine is within arm's length of the bathtub. And Papa comes up and grabs her and pulls her into the fire. My thing is, how is he still conscious to be able to do that? How does he have enough strength to sit up in the bathtub? Like, how did that happen? I'm just watching this like, y'all should have ran. Y'all could have both been good if y'all would have just ran. Only Racine gets dragged into the fire, and Anaia realizes that there's nothing that she can do, so she just runs out. And she literally is kind of like stuck, standing outside, watching the house burn down, watching the essentially coffin that she has made for her sister, and for all of the struggles of their past are now up in flames because they were able to get revenge on the person who started their life on this path. You know, she goes back to the bus stop. We see her wait for the bus. She does eventually have the baby. You know, I wouldn't say happily ever after, because during the entire movie, the twins often will communicate non-verbally. There's this like loud silence, because even though like it was quiet when they would talk, like, you know, kind of in their minds non-verbally, there would be subtitles, or there would be like music playing in the background while we were reading the subtitles. And so it never necessarily felt quiet, but like as soon as her twin is dead and it's just Anaia, like it's quiet, and you see her just kind of sitting in that quiet and dealing with how to exist in this world without the person who had been her rock through everything. It's interesting to see how the dad's offspring were carriers of that trait, of that level of anger, of that psychopathy. It's a wild ride of a movie, and it really got me thinking a lot about the parallels of just religion and blind faith and worship. You know, the hope that you put into various sources. The more that I watch movies, the more that I try to really, you know, process the allegories and the metaphors and whatnot, and not just look at it at the surface level of like, these two twins want to kill their daddy because they had a messed up life. But it's just like, what else could this represent? And I felt like this movie represented a whole lot. I definitely want to watch it again in theaters before it leaves, because it just was way more fun in the theater. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun to watch at home. It's just something about the theater experience, like being surrounded by the sound, having the giant screen. You know, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. So if you all have seen Is God Is, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you liked this video, please like this video. Make sure to share with all of your friends. If you all have any recommendations for videos that I could make later, different TV shows that are coming out. I know Spider Noir has started. I just watched I Love Boosters. Probably gonna make a video on that next. Supergirl is coming out. Spider-Man is coming out. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But if there's anything in particular, because I do still need to watch another Black classic. I haven't watched one of those in a while. Yeah, y'all just let me know what you all would like to talk about. And I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.